Sanjiao 1 on the ulnar nail point of the fourth finger. Going to be feeling for the flare of the bone, looking at where the ulnar and proximal borders meet, looking at the nail bed, and putting my point in. Sanjiao 2 between the fourth and fifth fingers, half a sun within the web margin. So bring the two fingers away from each other, feel for the flare of the bone of the fourth, and come out into the margin between those two bones. So Sanjiao 3 is on the dorsum of the hand, proximal to the fourth and fifth metacarpal phalangeal joint. Locate this with the hand in a loose fist. Run your finger over the joint head in between the fourth and fifth bones. Just wiggle the fingers to make sure that you're not on the bone, and popping your point in. Sanjiao 4, which is on the dorsum of the wrist, in between two tendons, extensor digitorum communis and extensor digiti minimi, and popping my point in.
Sanjiao points on the forearm are best located with the arm laying flat on the bed and the elbow turned outwards. To find Sanjiao 5, come 2 sun proximal to Sanjiao 4, in between the radius and the ulna. You should be on the radial side of the tendon of extensor digitorum communis. If the person wiggles their fingers, this tendon will come into relief. Sanjiao 6 is located 3 sun proximal to Sanjiao 4. It's in between the radius and the ulna, and it's on the radial side of the tendon of extensor digitorum communis. Wiggling the fingers will bring this tendon into relief. Sanjiao 7 is located 3 sun proximal to Sanjiao 4. It's in between the radius and the ulna, but it's on the ulnar side of the tendon of extensor digitorum communis. This tendon comes into relief when the fingers are wiggled. Sanjiao 8 is located 4 sun proximal to Sanjiao 4. It's in between the radius and the ulna, but it's on the radial side of extensor digitorum communis. This will come into relief if the person wiggles their fingers. Sanjiao 9 is located 7 sun proximal to Sanjiao 4 on a line heading towards the lateral epicondyle of the humerus. It's located in between the radius and the ulna in a nice groove between two muscles.
Sanjiao 10 is located 1 sun superior to the tip of the olecranon process of the elbow. The point is found with the arm flexed and the hand supinated. Sanjiao 11 is 1 sun superior to Sanjiao 10. Sanjiao 12 is located 4 sun superior to Sanjiao 10 on a line connecting Sanjiao 10 to Sanjiao 14. Sanjiao 13 is located on a line connecting Sanjiao 10 to Sanjiao 14 at the posterior border of the deltoid.
Sanjiao 14 is located inferior and posterior to the acromion process at the origin of the deltoid muscles. The easiest way to find this point is to take the weight of the person's arm and palpate in between the heads of the deltoid to identify the anterior, lateral and posterior heads of the deltoid. If you push forwards, you should be able to feel the bony extremity of the acromion process. Sanjiao 14 is inferior to the acromion process in between the posterior and lateral heads of the deltoid. It forms a nice curved line along the edge of the acromion with large intestine 15 and small intestine 10. Sanjiao 15 is located in the suprascapular fossa. It's halfway between Do 14 at the base of C7 and the lateral extremity of the acromion. It's also located halfway between gallbladder 21 and small intestine 13. Sanjiao 16 is located on the posterior border of the sternocleidomastoid on a contour with the angle of the mandible. Palpate along the posterior and inferior borders of the mandible to make sure that you find the angle of the mandible correctly. Then move backwards onto the posterior border of the sternocleidomastoid to find Sanjiao 16. Sanjiao 17 is located in a dip behind the earlobe. It's between the ramus of the mandible and the mastoid process. Be careful that you don't put this point on bone. It's in between the bones in a dip. Sanjiao 18 is located 1/3 of the distance between Sanjiao 17 and Sanjiao 20, on level with the rim of the ear when it's pressed up against the head. Sanjiao 19 is located 2/3 of the distance between Sanjiao 17 and Sanjiao 20, level with the rim of the ear when it's pressed against the side of the head. To locate Sanjiao 20, press the ear against the side of the head. The point lies directly superior to the apex of the ear on the side of the head. When a person opens their jaw, a groove forms anterior to the tragus. Palpate in this groove and locate Sanjiao 21 in this groove anterior to the supratragic notch. Sanjiao 22 is located in a nice depression about half a sun anterior to the upper root of the ear. Sanjiao 23 is located towards the lateral end of the eyebrow in a nice dip on the supraorbital margin. If you palpate towards the end of the eyebrow, most people you'll find there's a nice cleft in the bone.